Hey there, I'm Ashley Zarigian. I play bass for Filter, and this here is my pedal board. And even though it looks super ghetto because I pretty much like assembled this myself, it's taken on various incarnations in different bands. For this band, I've got sort of a stripped down version. I'm using this amazing Mark Bass Super Synth. It's one of my favorite toys. It gets some crazy sounds that sound like you're playing in outer space. It's really cool. Actually, I'm only using it for one song, one of our more cinematic songs, and it also has an octave channel, which I'm not really using for this either, but it sounds so cool. You can actually go into this online and customize all of your presets and save them on here, which is really cool. This is my favorite fuzz in the world. It's Way Huge Electronics. They make the Swollen Pickle. It sounds so fat. I think I maybe even blew my amp last night because of this one. So this right here is Mulan. They make beautiful guitars and basses, and they also make this beautiful bass drive, which is just a little bass overdrive, and it sounds really crunchy and really cool. It's got a really cool personality that I'm using actually through most of this set. And Death by Audio, they're friends of mine, really cool company. They make this really crazy sounding fuzz. It's got a lot of character and can do a lot of different things. I'm not using it as much because it's so gnarly, but it does have a couple spots in the set where I showcase it. And other than that, that's my pedal board. Just got my little volume guy and Boss tuner. Right, here's my babies. This is a 62 reissue Fender Precision bass, and it was actually made in 1983, so it's literally as old as I am. I am using DR strings. In fact, I'm using their DR drop-down tuning strings because we play in a lot of weird keys. That's why I have 3 basses for the set. This is my C bass, so I am using their drop-down tune strings for all 3 basses actually. And this is my Fender black top bass. It's got, even though it's a jazz bass, it's got 2 P pickups, which is really cool. It's got a really cool sound, and I use that for like Hey Man, Nice Shot. It's a really cool sound. And this here is my newest bass. I'm super proud of this one. This is the Fender Jazz Elite. It's their their newer basses, and it's a beautiful 5-string with 2 active pickups, and it sounds awesome. It's got an active passive. It's kind of like the old American Deluxes, and it sounds killer. This down here is the head I'm running. This is Aguilar's DB751. It is my secret weapon. It is amazing, super ballsy, really simple. I like that it doesn't have too much going on. I'm not really someone that needs to like be crazy, nitpicky about the sound, but just with this setting, I can get exactly what I'm looking for. Super ballsy, I love it. This here is my other secret weapon, but it's in repair right now. I blew one of the speakers. It's my Aguilar DB412, and it sounds incredible. The thing I love about the 12 speakers rather than 10s is they do push a little bit more air. I was just getting this amazing warm sound out of it, and I could feel it. It's almost like you could feel it before you could hear it, you know. But it has a really nice clarity still, really warm mids. Just a great sounding speaker. Aguilar, man, they're killer, and they're really nice folks too. So really happy with this thing. We're gonna switch out the speaker and get it up and running.
Hi, this is Umi from the band Filter. We're on the Crazy Eyes tour currently in Arlington Heights, I believe, in Illinois. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of new toys that I'm taking out on the road here. I did a lot of work on the record with Richard over the last, well, it was almost a year in total, I believe, that we worked on it. So I really wanted to bring as much of that element out into the guitar world as possible so that we could remove it from the tracks and we could perform everything live. It makes it more fun for us, and it's cooler because it's different every night. You know, it's not stale. Chris is doing the same thing with his setup, and so is Bobby. So everyone's triggering a lot of stuff, and we're sort of creating our own sounds. I guess there's a lot of element of improvisation as well, because there's a lot of textures that we created on the record. So what I've got here, I'll just run you through. Just got my nice little poly tune here. This guy is unbelievable. I think this is one of the best pedals I've ever seen in my life. It does many things. Really, what it says here, you know, you have a diatonic pitch shifter. You have a couple of different pitch shifters. You've got an octave, you've got a pitch flex, and all that. And you got the H, what is it? The H949, the H910 emulations here. But what this says here, it doesn't really describe the depth that you can get, because you have all sorts of weird delays and modulations, and I use it to create some pretty spaced out reverbs and real dark, sort of cavernous, ominous textures, you know, which we use in quite a few of the songs. Mothery, Nothing in My Hands, Blinding Rights, even Head of Fire, you know, just to create those real sort of crazy, bent, dark horror sort of sounds. So I've got that. I'm taking this thing out as well. It's a Boss DD500. It's a very, very cool, very versatile delay. You can get reverse stuff happening. You can do so much. It's probably the most powerful delay unit I've come across, I think. You know, it takes a little while to work it, but once you do, it's really worth the effort. EVH Phase 90, really, really good pedal. Very simple, one knob, one button. I have this Boss loop slicer, the SR20. I really like this. I use this in the studio. I didn't really use it on the filter record. I did use it on the Combi Christ record, which we recently just finished. But I really enjoyed it. There's one downside to it, is that you can't save the preset of the tempo that you desire. So everything is done by tap, which also makes it interesting, because you really gotta feel the groove, and you gotta make sure you're on it. You know, it's kind of hit or miss. Am I gonna get it or not? It takes a little to get used to, but it's very, very cool, really fun. After here, I'm going with the Way Huge ringworm. So this guy's just a really crazy ring modulator. You got all sorts of waveforms. I get pretty dialed in with so I do a lot of real-time modulation here with frequency, and changing the width and the rate of the modulation, and that's super cool. I really dig this Bad Horsey wah pedal. The reason being is that a lot of wah pedals, you have an on-off button, so you either play a wah solo, or you do a wah thing, or you don't. With here, I use this a lot just to sort of hit one note, you know, if I want one note to sort of morph, or like one chord, especially with the Eventide. That combined with this, you can get some super weird, twisted textures. Hard to really describe until you hear it, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, and I had this volume pedal, you know, just for swells and stuff like that. If I just want to cut everything at once, that's running after all this stuff. So that's the pedal board there. Then we got our guitar boat. This is mine and Richard's stuff over here. So this is a guitar I've had for 10 or 12 years now, I believe. No, maybe not that long, maybe 8 or 10 years. It's Fender Telecaster Deluxe. I tried about 30 tellies over in Perth, and this was the first one I decided, and the last one that I came back to. I really, really like it. It's very special. It's been through a lot, lots and lots of gigs, and it's my main one that I go to in the studio as well. And I've just taken out the standard and chucked the DiMarzio hot rail in here. You can see the wear and tear on it. Love this pickup, love this guitar, awesome. I've recently gone with Ernie Ball. I use the Slinkies, and I use a couple of different gauges. On the lower tunings, I tend to go with, what do I go with, Kevin? 10 to 52?
10 to 52, swapping out the 52 with a 62, I believe.
That's right, because on some of them we tune down to...
Going A tuning.
Tune out to A on the 6th string, so you get a real fat, ballsy bottom end, and it doesn't get loose. We use that on Welcome to the Fold and Take Me to Heaven. Then I also have, now this guy, Ernie Ball, gave me to use on this tour, so it's only about a week that I've had it in my hands, and I absolutely love it. First thing I loved about it was the shape and the colors. It's very similar to the Telly with the white or cream inlay. And I really like rosewood necks. The only downside about my Telly is that the maple tends to get a little bright sometimes, and I really like the rosewood top here. So I had a little fiddle with it, and they said you're welcome to take it out, and I've just fallen in love with it. This is now one of my favorite guitars. So I'm really stoked about that. Next we have this guy. This is the Esoteric. I'm not sure what model it is. It might be DR1, I believe. It's really, really cool. It's a couple of Seymour Duncan Super Distortion pickups in here. One's a Super Distortion, one I'm not too sure. I use this for some of the low tunings. I've used it in the studio as well. Very, very heavy, very fat sounding guitar. Lots and lots of fun to play. Slim neck. Yeah, there's another guy out here that's got very similar one of these from Vampires Everywhere, and we both really like them. So good job, Esoteric, and thank you. Last one I'll show you is this guy. G&L gave us this to use on the Take Me to Heaven video clip, and after I used it for about an hour or two, I had to hold on to it. I really, really enjoyed this one. They're all great guitars. I mean, they're all sort of great for different things. This one just looks really cool as well. You know, check it out. G&L don't really make bad guitars. Really love this one. This is the Fallout, by the way. I've had a few people ask me. So this is the Bogner Uberschall Twin Jet. It has a purple mod. I'm not exactly sure what it is. They've done something to the circuit and the light turns purple. It's really cool. I use this in the studio to track guitars for the latest Combicross record. And I really, really enjoyed it in the studio, and after that I told them, like, guys, I have to take this out on the road, and they were really supportive, and they've been great. They gave me the option of that and the Ecstasy head. They're both really, really good. This one's 160 watt, and it's designed for heavier playing, and the way that it handles lows is incredible. It has so much headroom. It's really very tight without being muddy, and very big, but still having a lot of clarity in all registers. And they also recommend to run that through the Uberschall cab, because this guy is designed to handle the lower frequencies a little better as well. They also let me take this guy out as well. I probably didn't really need it. I just like the match of the black and white. Now that is running through, because we use in-ears. Richard really likes to have a tight DI sound with a lot of bottom end, which is hard to achieve through a cab. Another guy that uses this in the studio. This is good for both studio and live. My friend Meegs from Cold Chamber introduced me to Paul Rivera of Rivera Amplification. So what they make is this is essentially a DI box which attenuates. So if you want to get a little more, you can see I'm running these pretty hot. Then you can attenuate it through here, so you can get the juice out of the amp, but you can attenuate the wattage through here. And then so this is your attenuation side. And then over here, what a lot of DI boxes don't have, which makes this thing really unique, is that it has this graphic EQ. Right now this is set to a vintage 30 emulation. That's very, very close. I kid you not. It's really amazing what they've done with this. So that's the basic EQ curve of the vintage 30. Once you get in there, you can start making tweaks if you like, and you know, in the studio, I find that you want a little less 4K or maybe a little more 1.6 or whatever. So you can get really versatile. Just to let you know, when I was doing the Combi record, I would go back and forth. Something based on the vintage 30 and then something based on the greenback cabinet, and they're very, very close. And after I used this, I didn't really find much need to mic up a cabinet anymore. So this goes through to our in-ears, and this actually goes through to front of house. Soundguard doesn't even find a need to mic up the cabinets. Although I prefer the cabinet sound, I just like to be loud. But really with this, there's so much you can do. So I'm really happy. This is the best rig, best setup I've ever had in my life, together with my pedals feel really confident, and I'm really enjoying myself every night when I play out and stuff.
What's up? I'm Chris from Filter, and this is my beast of a drum kit from Q. Where to begin? Here, I'll get out of the way. This beast here is a 24 by 16 kick drum. It's all galvanized steel. So these shells are actually metal. You can see the rivets. It's pretty much a trash can with amazing wood hoops inside it and heads, and it sounds ridiculously ballsy. All these drums are incredible. So this is a 18 by 16 over here, and on my other side is a 16 by 16. On the top here is a 13 by 9, and then this one is a 14 by 8 maple snare drum, and it was a beast. It's the deepest snare drum I've ever played, and there's so much like body out the front. It's really cool. The new record is very industrial, it's as it's been labeled, and these drums, like, they certainly have that industrial sound. I was just talking to our sound guy today about it. The difference between this and wood. Like wood, it's really warm, kind of nice, round sounding, and this is really in your face and like bombastic, that kind of thing. And it's totally working for the new stuff. It sounds in your face and aggressive versus nice and smooth. I play Sabian cymbals, as you can see here. This is my favorite ride cymbal I've ever played, the hand-hammered HH Royal Bell Dry Ride. It's got the coolest bell. Cuts through everything. This is a 21 inch. It's beautiful. This is a 19 inch AX Explosion Crash and an 18 inch AX Dark Crash. And this one I change up every now and then. This is currently an AAX Ozone Crash, the 18 inch. Sometimes we use an HHX, depending on what's going on. In Headland, Evans drum heads right now. We've got coated G2s on the top and clear G1s on the bottom. And the coated ones, they always just kind of round out the sound on everything. It kind of makes it nice and smooth. A little bit closer to the studio sound, which I kind of like bringing live. This is my custom design. AAX Explosion hats, 14 inches, but on the bottom it's a 14 inch Evolution under there. It's a little bit heavier than the Explosion bottom, so you get a much more crisp kind of sound out of it. So AAX HHX bottom is a new addition to all the stuff. I don't know if you can see in here, but there's a lot of pedals and stuff going on down there. And what we're doing is we've taken all of the album sounds and I'm actually playing them live. So there's a big chunk of sections in some of the songs where it's all electronic or programmed drums for a minute or two. So rather than sit here and just chill out, I'm playing it all for real. I don't think we've got any sound at the moment, but yeah, all the songs are just labeled in each bank, all the different tunes there, and then it ranges from hi-hat sounds and kick drum sounds and specific samples throughout the album, and then both pedals on each side. They will run either a hi-hat sound or a kick drum sound. Sometimes I'm playing 4 kick drums at once with double samples and everything and double pedals, so I can get both feet across a pedal like that. And I'll be playing up to 3 or 4 different sounds all at once to get that really meaty sound. And then across here as well, we've got the BT1s, joint pair over there, and same deal, that's just an extra level. So the SPDSX here is completely full at the back, and I can make as many different sounds as I can all at once. These are the Chris Reeve filter model. And they're based on the X55A, kind of a cross between the 5A and it's sort of halfway between 5A and a rock stick. Like it's got the length and it's a little bit thicker than the usual 5A. And these ones are actually a natural grip on the bottom, which is kind of nice. You get a little bit more grip out of them. And for me, they're just the perfect balance. I don't think about my stick once during the show. It just sits in my hand and it does what I want it to do. And then these as well, the UEs. This is really nerdy. I got to show you how nerdy this is. So I'm a bit of a fan of Invader Zim, and Gurr is sitting on my UE 11s here. And he's also on my lanyard on there, and he's also on my tattoo in here. Super nerd. The Pearl Eliminator's in here with the blue cams on the kicks and white cam on the hi-hat down there. They're one of the only pedals I've ever been able to put on straight out of the box, and they just feel perfect. I don't touch them at all out of the box, straight on my kit, and they're perfect. Same deal, like I don't think about my pedal ever, same as the sticks. I just do what my feet want to do and the notes come out. It just works, which I don't get from any pedal. These are special.
Hey, I'm Bobby, Rotten Bobby from the band Filter. Just really quick, give you a rundown on my setup over here. We got tracks, we run with Pro Tools. I use all the Ableton for all my patches. I run Complete through here. I use Signal for a lot of this stuff. Like our main focus for like this run was like to take a lot of the stuff off of the tracks and start making it more live, So what was cool is when they were doing the album, Umi was sending me patches as we were getting ready for the tour, so it was like seamless with the stuff. You don't usually get that relationship with the guy recording, So, but yeah, so that's that. I also run monitors from here. I sing backup. I play guitar. I got this cool stuff from Roland that I absolutely love, and this MX1 from them is it acts as an interface, which is like the coolest thing for me, and I'm able to route things in here and manipulate the sounds to get all these different effects on stuff coming out of my computer, which is like that by itself is awesome. This little jewel, the System 1, is I use this like sometimes the show just calls for like noise, and I just been using their plug out synthesizer to just fill in gaps and like interludes and make crazy sounds. I love this thing. I haven't got completely into it yet, but I've been using it pretty much. But you can write stuff back here with the plug out software, which is really cool. I'm using M Audio right now. This stuff is cool, for what it is, for the money. I had, all this stuff is synced up to my Ableton, so I can, turn things up and down. I assign all these guys over here to, change different envelopes and filters and stuff using Signal and the patches that I use live now. So, cool thing in Ableton is that simpler thing. I was able to take things right off the record and put it across my whole keyboard and play the things live, which was like a really cool change, because a lot of the things from Filter, went back to Rich making sounds in his computer and then bringing those sounds back out for live with tracks, and now we've kind of spread it out between everybody to make it more live, So, and as far I built these light things over here. These things are all run through MIDI off the Pro Tools, which made my life easier because I had it on a Switch before. And yeah, pretty much that. We're doing some projection stuff now, and things are going, making the show a lot more. The production of it is like building as we're going through this thing. So appreciate you for coming by. Thanks.